doing, Mikey boy?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Tanek027 and welcome back to Tanek FPS. And guys, I got a treat for y'all today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a new upcoming first-person shooter called EMPULSE. Now, if you want to stay updated on all things EMPULSE, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and a big special thank you to the team at EMPULSE for inviting me to their private play session for a chance to get to test the game out early before its early access release on June 24th of this year. That's right, guys. Literally just in a couple weeks, you'll be able to play EMPULSE on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. And I'm hoping Nintendo Switch 2 one day. And we may even have a little clue here that, the developers just might be looking at that. Nothing too serious, but I did throw that suggestion out to them and they replied. So, long story short, I've been under NDA for a little bit about this now. And EMPULSE is the new shooter that I've been teasing a bit on social media that I was going to get to play early and test out. And you guys are actually seeing gameplay in the background of some B-roll that they gave us of a mode called Capture the Mech. Now, when you hear that, you're probably wondering what is EMPULSE. So, long story short, when I play EMPULSE, and straight up, this is how I feel, take Titanfall and give it I guess a little bit of that Splitgate feel without the portals, and that's EMPULSE. But, toss that smooth COD movement in there, like, don't get me wrong, Titanfall felt good and smooth, but y'all know how every Call of Duty game, they're just really, buttery smooth, you know it's COD because, it just has that natural feel. That's how EMPULSE feels when you play it. It's a really good feeling game, so you can double jump in here, you have a jetpack, you can wall run and all that stuff. It's heavily inspired by Titanfall. And in this mode called Capture the Mech, it's literally capture the flag but with mechs. There's a mech on one side, a mech on the other. You get their mech, bring it back to your base, vice versa, yada yada yada. But as you know, it's a mech, so it's packing some heat and it's going to hurt you. So it's a bit more dangerous than the typical flag, if you catch my drift. Now, if you guys don't know, EMPULSE is actually being developed by 1047 Games, the same guys that brought us Splitgate and Splitgate 2 and Splitgate Arena Reloaded. They've, been saying for a while now that, they want to be a multi-game studio and stuff like that, and that's exactly what they're going to pursue. However, EMPULSE is taking a completely different route than Splitgate did, and I have to give them respect for this because they're not so focused on, being the biggest game, going overly crazy with monetization, putting a bunch of stuff in there. They're simply dropping a $19.99 early access version of the game for people to try out, give feedback, and as it grows and develops over time. And that is honestly a great way to do a shooter. That's that's how a lot of big live service style games get to that big area. They sit there and they listen to community feedback. And the thing I love about these guys, during the private play session and stuff like that, they were all about the feedback. Literally, they gave us about an hour to play the game, and then they wanted to just hear our thoughts. They wanted our questions. They wanted our concerns. They wanted our whining and bitching. And I respect that. There's no better way of saying, like, hey, we want y'all to shape this game. We want to know what y'all want. Now, me personally, I really enjoyed it. I played it on PC. I do plan on playing it on PlayStation 5 when the early access drops. I do look out for some videos for that. Like I said before, I wasn't able to show that gameplay, unfortunately, so they did hook us up with some B-roll of their own gameplay to use for the video. Special thank you to them for supplying this footage to use as well. But guys, EMPULSE is a fun time. The main things I honestly think they need to focus on when it comes to EMPULSE is just taking the community's feedback with the ADS. For those who don't know, when you play EMPULSE, you ADS the same way you do in Titanfall. So there's no official aim down sights. It's more like like a zoom in, kind of like Valorant's console's focus mode and stuff like that. But the game still feels really, really good. Like the gunplay feels feels nice. The movement feels nice. I never feel like I'm at a super crazy disadvantage in a gun battle or anything like that. And like you literally have to outplay your opponents using your surroundings. Like that was one thing I appreciate. Like whenever somebody killed me, right, and they outmaneuvered me, they were just wall running and jumping or whatever. It was always, a skillful fight. Now, granted, there was other creators and, and insider players and stuff like that in this test. So I'm not going to lie. It was sweaty in that bad boy. All right. It was really sweaty in there. But whenever I got killed, it was, it legitimately felt because, I got outplayed. That person had more skill in that gunfight, or, I did something wrong. They did something better or whatever. I never felt like, I died to lag or some, weird glitch, or somebody had like some stupidly overpowered gunner or anything like that. Like even the mechs in the game, they're really not that difficult to take out. Like I was shooting at one from long range with a SMG, and I was actually doing, pretty decent damage to it. Like they've done a pretty good job with balancing. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I didn't get to try every weapon and test out every single thing in every position and every situation and stuff like that. I'm not going to say the balancing perfect, but I'm just saying there's a lot of potential, and 1047 definitely has something going here. Now, like I was saying before, another thing that they need to make sure they focus on is adding long-term playability. That means when, it's in early access, so, there's a lot of things they got to focus on: guns, map, getting content in the game, but there needs to be stuff for people to grind for. Add those really cool weapon skins, give people account levels, or, prestiges like COD, whatever you got to do. Give people a reason to play and be excited to play, give them something to grind for. It's, going to make it exciting. If you got to grind 300 levels, I don't know, why did I say 300 weapons? Good Lord. If you got to grind, let's say, 300 levels to get a certain weapon skin or something like that. I'm just throwing a number out there. It's not going to be anything crazy like that, but make that weapon skin, worth it. Add things, that are going to make players want to come back and play your game, whether you're planning on seasonal content or however they plan on doing this game in the future with all that stuff. Just give people a reason to keep coming back and enjoying the game. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. I'll definitely be showing some gameplay June 24th when this drops on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. And like I was saying before, the only other thing I want to suggest to the devs is do a Switch 2 version. There's not many shooters on that console. You guys have a shooter with some great potential here. Bring the shooter to the platform, to the game that needs an audience. That's that's how I look at that. But anyway, guys, let me know what y'all think. Did you see the gameplay in the background? Do you like it? Are you looking for a Titanfall spiritual successor? Let me know down in the comments below. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.